Okay. Hey, Demetrius. My name is Kenny Williams Jr. I'm a writer for Forbes Black, and I'm from Detroit too, so it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I just want to start off by asking, could you start off by just sharing what viewers can expect from your character this season? And is there anything that you feel like is going to surprise us while we're watching?
Yeah, this season you can expect everything elevated, like the action, the emotions, everything. Meech is dealing with a different animal this season. First and second season it was him in his hometown, him and his brother growing up. And dealing with Pat and all the other hardships, obstacles they had to deal with. But now Meech has found out Atlanta is the hub of the United States, with all the different freeways leading to all different parts of the country, but his brother doesn't agree with him. So his brother stays in the hometown while Meech has to go in Atlanta, a new city, and navigate through the whole new environment by himself, without his crew, without his brother, and we get to see a new Meech this season, a more charismatic, a more smart, decision-making Meech. He has to go different about the decisions that he makes this season. But meeting different people that don't trust him, that don't know him from a can of paint. He has to,
Now,
use different tactics to get what he wants.
and last season, you talked a little bit about last season too, which brings me to my next question. I feel like we kind of saw the brotherhood between Terry and Meech kind of get tested a little bit, but I'm curious as to how this big move, while Meech is in Atlanta and Terry is in Detroit, how is that going to impact not only the brotherhood, but the business overall?
The move impacts the business overall, um, in a very, very large way because Atlanta, like the new move to Atlanta is the next step for expansion. So Atlanta is the new hub for Meech to build his new crew and build the next step for the business. So Atlanta is a city where you can you can bring things to different parts to the country like LA, New York, the East and West and South Coast, just from Atlanta. So my dad figured that out. And once he figured that out, he's really trying to get his brother on board with him. And, T is dealing with different things back in Detroit, with different obstacles that, he's trying to get past. But Meech has already seen the finish line. Meech isn't thinking about what's still in Detroit. He's thinking about how he's going to get, to the next step. Um, and we're able to see how Meech is able to really navigate himself through Atlanta without any help, you know, with using different tactics, like I said before, in order to get what he wants. And everybody wants to come back, to Meech then. So we get to see the experience, and how the crew, is dealing with expanding.
And Demetrius, for my last question, I really love BMF being from the city, and I feel like y'all have contributed to putting Detroit on the map. So for my last question, I want to ask you, could you speak to how influential Detroit is as one of the major cities? Because I feel like when people think of BMF, they automatically think of Detroit in the best way.
Yeah, Detroit, man, it has many staples like in the world. Detroit has made history. In the 1970s, it was the murder capital of the United States. So it's a lot of poverty, a lot of drug, infested communities. But Detroit has been very big on fashion, the mink coats and silk shirts and the alligator shoes, crocodile shoes and slack pants, stuff like that. They always been real big on fashion. So it's still history, being talked about. It was needed for the culture. People don't. I was born in 2000, so a lot of people my age don't really understand the 70s and 80s. It was fun to me to be able to work on set and actually, live through, my father's experiences. But it's a total different time, totally different time. So it was definitely fun, like putting everything together, wearing the clothes, and living truthful in imaginary circumstances. It was fun.
Well, Demetrius, congratulations on all your success and putting on for the city. I really appreciate this opportunity, and I hope you have a great rest of your interviews.
Thank you, man. You too. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.